Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. Two of the most iconic U.S. presidents. Two leaders tragically taken from us. And yet their lives, deaths, and legacies are filled with coincidences that boggle the mind. Is it pure chance, or something deeper? Let's dive into the strangest connections between Lincoln and Kennedy. Let's start with the day of the week. Both Lincoln and Kennedy were assassinated on a Wednesday. Lincoln was shot on April 14, 1865, during a play at Ford's Theater. Kennedy was killed on November 22, 1963, in a motorcade in Dallas. Here's where it gets even stranger. Lincoln was assassinated at Ford's Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln Continental, a car manufactured by the Ford Motor Company. That's not all. Both were killed by gunmen in front of a crowd. And both assassins were later killed themselves before they could stand trial. Both presidents were succeeded by men named Johnson. Andrew Johnson took over after Lincoln. Lyndon B. Johnson became president after Kennedy. Now here's the eerie part. Andrew Johnson was born in 1808. Lyndon B. Johnson, born in 1908, exactly 100 years apart. Both Johnsons were Southern Democrats, and both faced intense challenges as the country grappled with the legacies of their predecessors. Here's another strange detail. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. Even more curious, both presidents were reportedly warned of threats to their lives shortly before their assassinations. Yet neither took extra precautions. Both presidents were deeply family-oriented. Lincoln lost a child during his presidency. Kennedy also mourned the loss of a child while in office. And consider this. Lincoln was shot in a theater and his assassin fled to a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse and his assassin fled to a theater. The name Lincoln and Kennedy each have 7 letters. Both assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, are known by their 3 names, each containing 15 letters in total. Even their political paths are linked. Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. Kennedy, exactly 100 years later, in 1946. Lincoln became president in 1860. Kennedy, a century later in 1960. So, what do you think? Are these coincidences just that? Random quirks of history? Or do they hint at something greater? Whatever the answer, Lincoln and Kennedy's legacies remain intertwined in ways that continue to fascinate us today.